Give me just a moment. It looks like our audio is not quite going through. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Looks like my audio is, however, I'm so sorry. Hang tight, folks. Alright, someone say something. There we go. Okay, let's try that again.
Hello.
Yeah, woo.
Oh, is our audio working now?
Let's find out together.
Is it working? Can you hear us? Okay, perfect. I'm going to just go ahead and assume yes. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry, my computer.
My apologies, everybody.
Apologies for that, everyone. Hi, everyone. We are here with season 2 of Therosian Odyssey, episode 3. Goodness, where are we? Episode 3. So it currently says episode 2 in the title, but we'll get that changed up for you. We're excited to be here. We can't wait to play some more D&D. I'm just recapping what's already said. We're a bit tired. Apologies if at any point I just completely just freeze and just don't say anything for a full minute while I try to my brain catches up. It's already happening. I hope everyone is feeling good today. Let's just quickly go around and I'm gonna do it at random. Who knows who I'll pick on next, and just quickly introduce ourselves, say who we're playing, and rate your tiredness on a scale of 1 to 5. So let's start with Lindsay.
Hello, everyone. For those who watch all of our games, I am Eva, the Kenku Ranger. On a scale of 1 to 5 of tiredness, I started the day at like a 2.5. I'm down to about a 1.5 right now. Feeling pretty good. Hopefully I can give energy to all my other lovely girls here. And yeah, let's rock today.
Yeah, let's rock today. I love that energy. Who's next? Jen, you're next.
Hello, that's me. I'm Jen. Hi, everybody. I am Jen. I will be your friendly local sad pining Estrella, your half-elven wizard. Today my tired is, I'm gonna be real, straight up at a 5. However, this game has always been such an amazing time for me, and I'm just so happy to be here right now.
Perfect. Loving your new catchphrase, however, that is my favorite thing. Let's go with Lulu next.
Good morning. I am Lulu. I'll be playing the part Triton cleric Callista, and I have to agree with Jen. I am probably at a 5 also, but this game is the only reason I would be up this early on a Sunday morning. And I'm still very thankful that I am part of it. So I want you all to know how much you mean to me for me being up this early in the morning on a Sunday. I actually had to set my alarm.
I'm always so grateful that people would get up this early to play, because that couldn't be me. Okay, let's go with Joan next.
I'm Joan. I play Onyx. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm pregnant.
Well beyond a 10 for Joan. But we will, just as a quick note, we will be checking in with the cast frequently, making sure that everyone is feeling good. If people need breaks, we might end up doing an extra break today. But we will just play by ear, see how everyone's feeling. Last but not least, Kumi.
Hello, I'm Kumi, and I play the barbarian Kulyuka. I'd say my tiredness scale is at a 3 right now, but Kulyuka's is at a -5 because she's ready to jump off this boat after getting this pretty bracelet from her fantastic and incredibly supportive friend, Callista.
It seemed like such a good idea at the time.
It's a good thing Onyx
Callista
is strong.
cannot be blamed for the assumptions, the assumption that has been made by Kulyuka on this.
I think actually Callista's going to have to secretly start casting Water Walk every morning just on the entire party.
Does this boat have lifesaver things? Is anybody training for a lifeguard?
We need
Just gonna
flotation
be going around
devices.
after everyone, just casting waterword, like, don't go too far. Stay where I can see you.
I'm a manta ray, bitch.
I mean, Onyx has a
boy.
+9 to swimming right now, so theoretically she could jump in after Kalyuka, but you never
I feel
know
like
how
this is
I'm
what's
gonna
going to
roll.
happen. Kalyuka is going to jump in, and every single member of the party, one after the other, is jumping in right after her. And
Kalyuka thinks it's a pool party, meanwhile everybody's panicking.
all right. So, I guess that leaves me. I'm Kat. I will be the DM, GM, game guide person. On a scale of 1 to 5, not as tired as some other people. I'm probably at a solid 3.5. I am pretty tired, but I've been through worse. But yeah, bear with me, because I feel like I do feel a little bit like my focus is off today, so I just keep finding it difficult to concentrate on lots of things at once today. So please do bear with me. But yeah, I guess we will just go straight into it. Last session, we all began in Akros, as we kind of finished off our final goodbyes, I suppose. Onyx, you had a fun little sparring session with Kumi's brother, and completely and totally and thoroughly kicked his ass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was
Definitely
a tie,
wasn't
but
at
Absolutely.
4 hit
so
points.
Totally. Like he was begging for mercy. Let's
Yep.
he was begging for mercy by the
so
end
much
of it.
so that he stopped the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't go on.
He was scared. But I feel like in a way you kind of have gained a rival, but also kind of gained. There's some playful banter there. There's some friendship building, which is nice. But it was kind of interrupted by the appearance of Cassian, who took a little bit of time out of his now extraordinarily busy schedule to take you to an unofficial shrine of Nilia that was kind of created by and for his mother. And you got to have a little catch up with a certain lion that kind of brought you all together inadvertently. And you also briefly met Andrea, the gardener of the place, and there's nothing else to say about that meeting at all, because that's all it was. It was just a meeting between a gardener and a paladin of Nilia, and that's it.
Totally normal, everyday kind of situation.
Absolutely, totally normal, everyday kind of situation. You then all headed off. Oh no, wait, there was a conversation between Astrea and Cassian, quite an emotional one. They say that Jen is blushing to this day, but it became I feel the two of you reached a truce of sorts within your bickering, and an understanding that perhaps you might care a little more about each other than you thought previously. Oh, absolutely, Angela. I will always be calling Jen out. This is my role in this game.
I feel attacked. It is 7 a.m. and I'm feeling attacked.
My favorite game right now is, which we'll get onto in a minute. My favorite game right now is
oh no,
messaging Jen with I've moved on from fan art now, and I'm messaging Jen with potential consequences of the thing that happened. We'll get on to that in a moment. You so you had a conversation with Cassian, a sort of goodbye. He gave you a little glass orb, a glorb, you affectionately called it, which will allow you to communicate with him, a limited communication, but allow you to check in with him, tell him that you're okay, which I think is really all he really mostly wants to hear, and check in on him and see that he's okay too. So that's good, isn't it? It will be good to know that he's okay, not that anything will at all happen that might mean he's not. So you then headed to Miletus, and you all decided to do a little bit of shopping. Some people's shopping trips remarkably more successful than others. We'll start with a successful one. Eva, fantastic display of the not rogue that you are. You successfully stole yourself a magical item, and I'm pretty sure that shopkeeper is still none the wiser even to this moment. Why do I pull off vague yet menacing so well? It's because I have such a sweet and kind face, and it allows me to be terrifying.
Also the turtleneck.
She will rip your heart out with a smile on the face. No, I won't rip it, I'll slowly pull it. So yeah, Eva managed to steal a magical item, and that was a really good, strong, solid start for you all. And then we moved on to Estrella, and Estrella also felt like it was a good idea to get some kind of magical item that might help in the water should she need it. So she decided to essentially bother a student shop boy, and see if she could strike herself a deal. And when that did not quite work out, she made what she fully labeled herself as a bad decision, and invoked a name that I don't think is recognizable to anyone here at this table except me. And if you could all just go back and watch that VOD and watch the panicked, terrified, but also manic expression on my face as she said it, you will understand.
At least I admitted that it was a bad idea. I admitted that it was a bad choice. It was
prefaced with, I'm about to make a bad decision. Should I make a bad decision? Everyone in chat said yes, so she made a bad decision.
Let it never be known that I do not listen to the people.
She got her cloak. And she thinks that's all fine and everything's worked out nicely. So
I got one cloak at the expense of another.
Onyx got hold of some gloves of swimming and climbing as well, I believe. Unfortunately did not get hold of a new weapon, but you kind of liked your old weapon better anyway, I think. And Lulu made a man very happy in telling him that his proposal to his other half was going to go very wonderful. Did pay quite a lot of money for some bracelets, but that's fine.
That's only money, she's never had to worry about money before.
So I think that everyone now in this party can swim, if I'm correct. Oh no, wait, there is one person that can't, but it's okay because Kalyuka definitely doesn't think that she can, so she won't make any decisions based on that at all. And then you headed to the docks. You got your portrait painted on the streets, very detailed, really, really good value because you paid the artist 6 times what they asked for in order to get it done properly and professionally, which I think was a really good shout. You then headed up on the boat and you sailed off into the sunset. And as you did, those consequences that we mentioned with Australia came a little bit back because she had actually rolled so badly that instead of the shop clerk deciding, do you know what, this is not worth my time or money, he became suspicious and had Estrella followed to the docks. He then informed the name that she had evoked, Nesta, and took him out to the docks where he had seen that she had sailed away. and Nesta found this gorgeous piece of art. And yeah, it's well, you know, we'll see what comes of that.
Kat, the tone of your voice when he was saying like, yeah, I know her, like,
it
so
wasn't
menacing.
A comforting tone.
So
was
menacing. It was a little menacing.
No,
I'm gonna be honest. It was a little. It was a little. It was a little like murderous. A little more. A little unnerving. So you know, I assume that's exactly what you were going for. But like, well done. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have gone with something like, oh, I know her, but I didn't really think that would suit the kind of mood of what he was feeling. So I changed it up a little bit.
My long lost twin Emma.
Good luck with that.
Personally, I feel you should have done like elf style, like Will Ferrell when he sees Santa Claus, like, Australia, I know her.
That sounds exactly how enthusiastic he'd be about it.
I'll take those notes on board. And next time, if the two of you happen to meet ever again, I'll go full Will Ferrell, I'm sure.
I will leave campaign immediately. I will just get up. I will cut the stream and I will leave.
So we'll begin the session then. Sorry, that was quite a long ramble from me. As I said, feeling a bit tired. That tends to make me ramble more. Apologies. You start the session on now remind me, the Durkle Wave Runner. That's what we went with, isn't it? The Durkle Wave Runner. I can't believe that we got a shit name. Amazing. The Durkle Wave Runner. You are aboard, and sort of as we'll kind of rewind to as they're just, you know, there's people on the boat there. There's general kind of like crew hands. They're running around making the final sort of preparations with supplies and everything, and sort of hauling the gangplank and preparing to set sail. And this woman that you met, friend of Jericho's, gave a lovely new fashion accessory for Eva to wear. Tricorn hat, everyone. Tricorn, not Trilby, as I found out that I said. You know, when I watched it back, I shuddered as soon as the word Trilby came out of my mouth. I was like, oh no, I don't believe I said that. Tricorn hat with a gorgeous feather, now added a little Eva feather alongside, and she kind of pulls you up, and I've got her up on this little map here, and she says, well, what do you need to know? I'm going to be the ship's captain. I am Cascade. It's an honor to meet you all. And she looks between you all and waits to be introduced.
Cascade, it's good to meet you. I am Estrella, the one of the mages of this group. And then I'll kind of extend a hand to give her a nice little shake. Because I enjoy doing this, I'm just gonna roll for handshake, which was a medium strength handshake.
Medium strength handshake.
Well, like there's kind of like the limp fish handshake, and then there's like the quote unquote like ideal for a job interview, going to rip your arm off handshake. Like it's right in the middle there.
I know
the
that
dude bro
Australia is
handshake.
not physically strong, but I feel like she can manage a medium strength handshake.
Yes. But like she'll kind of like turn off and just kind of like let everybody else introduce themselves, because
she'll kind of like look you up and down. She'll eye your slightly fancier clothes. You have, after all, been living with nobility for some time, so your clothing is not of poor quality. And she'll kind of like look you up and down, eye it, and give you a tight smile. Pleasure. and then she'll move on to the next person.
So Eva, upon walking up the plank, she's going to be instantly awestruck by the crow's nest that would be atop the sails. So little Eva will be walking up, kind of holding onto her hat, and most of her body tilted backwards so that she can look up and see through her hat because she's not taking this thing off. So her attention's going to be like so solely focused on that crow's nest, and she's going to be looking at ways to get up to it and ways to get down to it. Like she's hyper fixated on this to the point that being asked who they are, she's going to kind of come to a shock and a realization of someone's talking to her. She's going to tilt her head back down, still holding on to her hat, extend one feathered hand out, and just with a easy little Eva. And she's going to go for a really rugged, strong handshake.
Roll for no, I'm just kidding. She kind of, as soon as you say, she watches with amusement at your sort of awe at the crow's nest, which for reference is going to be on that middle mast. Which I'm sure that you'll need reference for that at some point should we engage in any kind of combat ever. I'm sure that will be of great interest to Eva. So that middle mast there is where the crow's nest is. And she'll watch with amusement, and then you'll kind of catch her eye and she's just looking at you, waiting. When you introduce herself, she smiles, definitely a little bit friendlier than Astrea's smile, and she'll go, Jericho has told me so much about you, and she will kind of take her hand and give it a proper shake, and she will look to the rest of you.
Onyx is gonna Onyx is gonna follow right after Eva, and she's kind of watching as Eva's like looking up at the crow's nest, and she's gonna turn over, look at Cascade, just give her a nod, and Onyx Kasubo of Satessa, and then she's gonna use her celestial revelation to pop her wings out, scoop up Eva, and fly her up to the crow's nest.
Hell yeah. I love that you're using this. The 2 times that you have used this ability to grow wings is just to fly Eva
to help
around.
a bird fly.
It's not been in any kind of battle at all. Okay, so you just Onyx of Satessa, and then you just and she kind
Eva's
of
gonna Titanic this up.
Cascade watches you go, and she turns to the rest of you and says, woman of few words, I see. She'll get on well with Tilly. And then she will turn to the 2 of you, Callista and Kalyuka.
So Kalyuka, this is the first time Kalyuka has been on a boat, any sort of vehicle at sea. So her first response is, of course, at the rocking of the boat. So she's just, kind of like on the balls of her feet, and she's going like, oh, and like Caillou is right in front of her, just like hopping out of her way each time she moves a little too close to falling on her. And she leans over to Cascade and she's like, very tipsy, How do you keep yourself so steady all the time? Do you not feel a little dizzy when you're walking up and down? Oh, sorry, my name is Kalyuka. I forgot that this is little Caillou. Caillou, say hi. Caillou's just like...
Caillou just kind of cocks her head and does a little, like rabbits, like, I can kind of do it. Like rabbits do the thing with their nose. So she does that, and Cascade goes, and I found the talker. Pleasure. My name is Cascade. Then she looks at Lulu or Callista.
And Callista has been just looking around in awe. She's dreamt about being on a ship all of her life, and she's just so excited. And she's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm sure Jericho's told you all about me too. It's so nice to meet one of his friends. I'm Callista. And she just fully expects that, Jericho, since Cascade knew Eva, Jericho must have also told her about Callista.
She has again this just really like easygoing smile, and she says, yes, Callista, Jericho has told me all about you, and whereas with the others it's just kind of in firm handshake, she leans in and she kind of lightly touches your arm, and she's it's a pleasure, and she she definitely seems to just want to put you at ease because you're kind of nervously chattering away at her.
Not Callista.
You must be so excited to be going out to sea at last.
Oh, I am. I've just, I've spent so much of my life looking out over the sea and hearing the stories of the sailors. I've been dreaming about it for so many years. I'm so excited, and I've been studying so much. I know all about how to navigate. I'm sure I would be a great help if you need help with navigating. And I'm sure Jericho told you, I've been really practicing like how to pick locks too. So if you need anything like that, I can also help you there. I'm sure. She just has no clue.
Callista is talking a lot, and sometimes people are a little bit like overwhelmed when people talk a lot, but she just seems really easygoing. She's taking it all in her stride. She's just nodding and seems interested, and she's like, of course we could always use any skills that can be brought here. That reminds me, I've been remiss. I must introduce you to my crew. Of course we have and she kind of gestures around. There's sort of men and women kind of women kind of milling around and getting bits ready, and she goes, but I'm talking about my crew, the one I run with, and
inside crew.
She kind of like looks back and she goes, don't be shy, we should introduce ourselves. And so first of all, let me do this one at a time. So, obviously as well, I forgot to put him in here, but Dion is up here with you. He kind of boarded with you. Let me just grab his little. I've changed up his. I've given him a little bit more of a look than he had last time, because I think he had like just a generic gladiator look before. So let's pop him in here.
So
Dion, he is looking. He does look grumpy.
Granted, so do we all, but
yeah, let's pop the two of you up
I was
here.
gonna be like, don't leave Caillou! Not Caillou! Caillou will fall
It
victim to
literally
Great
just
Lord,
occurred to me
jeez.
that those are not tables, those are masts.
They sure are.
Yeah. And as Cascade says, I should introduce you to my crew. Dion kind of just goes, I'm Dion. I'm Dion, by the way. I don't know if you wanted to know my name as well.
What do you do?
I'm Dion, and she goes, apologies. Hello, Dion of the Burning Spears. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
go
goes
well in the
back,
water.
looking around. I feel like this is going to become a thing now. Dion is just the ignored. Dion ignored. Burning.
No more Dion of the Burning Spears. There's just Dion the ignored.
Dion the ignored.
Dion the unimportant.
Oh, bless Dion.
Look, I'm sure he's lovely, but considering the fact that our first impression of him was Onyx being like, fuck you, I feel like we're more inclined to be like, eh.
Also, yeah, he was under mind control, but also he slaughtered my entire village.
Yeah. I feel like he's got that kind of aura around him of someone who is very aware of this fact. And in your travels with him, Onyx, he has been a little uncomfortable with everyone, I think, because the five of you have obviously got a much closer relationship. You are getting along and bantering and bickering, but for the most part it's like excitement and kind of planning together, and he is definitely the outsider of the group. And I think he's been kind of uncomfortable with everyone, but would have been particularly uncomfortable around Onyx. Not sure where he stands, probably very aware that Jericho asked Eva and Callista but didn't ask Onyx if it was okay for him to tag along, so it's a bit like I don't know if she really wants me here. And it would be kind of fair enough if she didn't, so he's definitely got that vibe about him. So he's sort of stood off to the side. He's not really engaging in anything, but he's trying his best.
I feel like Eva would once in a while like pop over to him and, give him a cookie and make sure he didn't feel like too bad. Because
and I feel like
him.
Whenever he wanted to communicate with the group, it probably would have been through Eva, because they have a shared belief in Crufix now, and he considers Eva to be like the person I can talk to and not be looked at immediately as like, why are you with us again? Like, so probably most likely Eva and Callista, just because Callista is lovely and makes everyone feel like they're welcome no matter what. Yes, I could fully picture him getting like I'm watching you vibes from Onyx and being like, oh, sweat drop. So so he kind of stands off to the side, and at the moment that Cascade kind of calls out, seemingly from nowhere, but really from just behind one of the masts, steps out a young girl, and she is young. She is barely into her teens.
Tiny.
Yeah, she's tiny, and she kind of eyes you all, and then she says, "You all right? I'm sorry."
What? Hi.
Hi.
Is the little girl yours? I look at Cascade.
Cascade has that immediate look of like, oh shit. And Suri says, "This little girl happens to know a lot. Thank you very much."
But are you her daughter?
Cascade with her very blue. She's a genasi, by the way. I should probably have mentioned that earlier.
Oh, okay.
So she's like a genasi. So her hair is like a very dark blue, but it almost like it kind of ripples slightly, like water does. So she's clearly like got some affinity with water generally, and she's got this sort of like quite blue skin, and Suri kind of like furrows her brow and cocks her and goes, "I don't know, do I look like her daughter?"
Well, adoption is a wonderful practice.
Oh boy.
Onyx kind of shuts down. To be fair, I don't look anything like either of my parents.
Exactly. See?
Okay. Hi, Estrella. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Finally, someone who's got some manners. You're highborn, aren't you?
That's a great question.
That's not an answer.
And Estrella, you would probably notice, given to some of your past, that emblazoned on one of her sleeves is a small symbol of a piranha.
Kat, why do you do this to me?
Why do I do what to you?
All right, stream's over, guys.
I haven't done anything. I'm just telling you a little detail that you would notice.
Estrella files that away as a reminder to fucking let other people introduce themselves first. Fucking hell. Look, Livid, my dear, wonderful, amazing Livid, I wish I had an answer for you.
And Suri then she kind of looks around and she looks at you, Callista, and she says, so Jericho said you wanted to learn to pick pockets.
Yes, I do. I've mastered picking locks, and it just feels like that would be the next step in my training. I also was learning how to dice, which I think is really fun. So I'd be happy to...
She looks kind of amused, but in that way of like a little bit like uncertain if you're like mocking, or there's definitely like a defensiveness about her. And she's like, dice as well, huh? That's very impressive. Well, pickpocketing, it's tough business. It means, you've got to really be on the ball. You've got to really, it's not just about being able to do it. You have to have the courage, the bravery. Hey, I was going to ask you as well, what's this? And she pulls out 3 of that you immediately recognize to be your shards from your little divination pouch. And they got some weird shit written on them.
And Callista's just like, oh my God, that is so amazing. How did you do that? I didn't even notice. Wow. Oh, that was really impressive. I think we're going to be really good friends, Suri.
Well, all right. You can have them back. And then she goes to give them to you.
And Callista will take them back and put them back in her pouch.
You can have this back too. And she hands you 10 gold.
Oh. Yeah, Callista's going to have a lot of fun. She has no idea what she's in for.
And then Suri just kind of slinks back into the shadows, and is no longer seeable. Then as she kind of walks off, she walks past a large, this would probably be someone that you would notice immediately, having been on the moment that you stepped on the boat but haven't had a chance to ask about. A large, imposing, very imposing, I'm going to make that much bigger, Minotaur. Dressed up, armored up, with a big long sword, arms crossed, watching you all. And she'll kind of look at you all and say, Tilly.
Eva's gonna mimic that because it was so hilarious. Up in her crow's nest, she's just gonna be like, Tilly.
Tilly. And then she'll go back to admiring kind of like her own armaments and making sure that they're kind of all in order and everything. She doesn't really seem to be that interested in any more conversation beyond that. And Cascade will go, well, Suri is our Suri's our little sneaky, well, I'm sure she made it pretty obvious, some of her talents. And Tilly is the muscle. Isn't that right, Tilly? And Tilly's like, uh-huh. Not a big talker, but...
I fully expected Tilly's response to just be, Tilly.
Tilly?
Like,
I am
like a freaking Pokemon.
Tilly. But teddy bear when you get to know her. Then At that point, a sort of relatively short, but well dressed satyr steps onto and he goes, "Ah, they've arrived."
And your name?
Hector. Hector, dear.
Nice to meet you, Hector.
Pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. And Cascade says, now Hector likes to be a little bit high and mighty, but and Hector goes, "Excuse me?" And Cascade said, "But don't let that he's necessary, okay? He's sort of, he worships Thassa, and you got to have someone on board that worships Thassa, and I mean really has like that connection with Thassa, or you are." Ooh,
between the two of us between the two of us with Thassa and Karanas, it looks like we'll make a pretty good team.
Hector looks at you and says, "Karanos, yes, certainly. Thassa is always pleased to spend time with Karanos."
Hey, what's the vibe check on that, cat?
Roll an insight check for me.
Oh, absolute garbage. Please hold. Oh yeah, that's an 11.
No, 11's not bad. It's about average.
It's no 25, yeah.
Yeah, it's no 25. I feel like, you know, Jen, I really need to talk to you about this. I feel like you hold yourself at far too high a standard. You're like, "Oh, I only rolled a 16. That's terrible." And
okay,
I'm like,
to be fair, I go by the raw number rolled on the die. Like, a 16, like, when I'm rolling at a +8 is pretty pathetic.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Fair enough. So Hector, general vibes, definitely considers themselves probably a little bit above everyone on this boat. And you can see that, like, from what they're wearing, that it's cool. It's emblazoned with like Thassa imagery. You're not sure if they are a cleric or whatnot, but they seem to definitely rate their relationship with Thassa highly. From what you can tell, he seems relieved that there is another sort of particularly pious member aboard, and you've noticed that just the way that he kind of looks at Callista as well, because Callista is kind of wearing, so he's like, you know, with a little bit more respect. Not a bad vibe, but this guy could get a bit stuffy, maybe.
Oh my god, we're gonna be such good friends.
But he seems friendly enough. And he looks at you, Callista, and he says, and a friend of our great Afara as well. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Would you like to play dice sometime? I just learned how, and it's really fun.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't really play dice. Cascade kind of just rolls her eyes and looks away. Says it's not really my thing. But thank you so much for your kind offer.
Oh, you know, anytime you wanted to learn, I've been learning so many new skills since I've been out in the world, and it's amazing how big and beautiful the world is. And I'm so excited. And it is
respectfully,
nice to meet you.
The rolling of dice does not need any great skill. It's simply rolling dice.
But it's fun.
I'm sure it is.
You don't like to have fun?
Well, I prefer to have fun in my own. And at this point, he's getting a little bit flustered, like he didn't really expect to be like challenged in this very like sincere way. So he's like, I just, I prefer to have fun in my own way. I prefer games that have a little more thoughtfulness, a strategy.
Oh, like what? I would love to learn.
Oh, maybe the chess.
I've never played chess before. I would be happy to learn if you
Someone
wanted
say
to play
chess?
sometime.
Okay. I could, and he's kind of looking at Cascade like he was fully just coming into this to just be a little bit snobby, and you kind of just bowled him over with kindness, and he's gone, well, okay, yes, I'm sure I could teach you some chess at some point. Yes,
I would like that, and I would love to hear more about Thassa too. I mean, I know about all the gods, of course. That's just basic education in the temple, but I would love to pick your brain sometime and hear more about her.
Oh, of course, I would be happy to teach any soul looking to. You have just asked the really pious guy to say, tell me more about your religion. He's really excited. And he's like, of course, I would be happy to teach you more about Thassa's ways. She really is such a wonderful patron. But I must get back to it. And Cascade says, get back to what exactly, Hector? Work dodging? Because I'm unpacking. It's important. And makes his way back downstairs. And finally, Cascade says, so that's pretty much everyone. But there is one more. He's a little shy. And he's not a fighter. But he's part of the crew. He's part of the team, and he'll keep us well fed. So make sure to be nice. Cedric, and from below scampers up this tiny little goblin.
Oh,
He is so
And
cute.
he says, "Yes." He goes, come and meet our who we will be traveling with. This is Astrea, this is Callista, Eva and Onyx have flown away, and and this is Kalyuka.
Hello,
Hi.
this is Caillou.
Y'all see Astrea
Oh.
cringe just a little bit when her name is said out loud.
Caillou? I have not heard of this ingredient.
It is not ingredient, it is friend.
He looks up at Cascade. Cedric, don't kill the bunny rabbit. Friends! Hi, Caillou.
Caillou, do not ever go downstairs alone.
Just like murmuring out of the corner of your mouth with a big smile. Do not be alone with this goblin.
It's nice to meet you, Cedric.
Eva will wave down from up on the crow's nest.
It's nice to meet you too. You like
What do you
chicken?
think? You
Love
have
it.
chicken on board?
Yeah, I make good food.
We look forward to trying it.
Cool. And he scurries back downstairs.
I
again.
would die for Cedric.
Cedric is not a fighter. I'm gonna put that out there now.
I
Cedric
would-
is a chef.
I will die to keep Cedric alive in a fight. I will. I will fully. I would throw myself off this boat for Cedric
You're going to be your
Without the
adopted
cloak.
adopted child.
without the cloak. Yes, Cedric is my child now. Like,
So
Cassian
while
and I
this
were
is going
adopting
on,
him.
we're adopting. Okay, perfect.
Cassie and I
while,
brought home a kid.
while all this is going on, let's head up to the crow's nest and see what's going on up there. So Onyx, your wings spread out, you pull over up, and then you can kind of both sort of survey what's going on. You're watching these people. You can, they're not being like quiet, they're not trying to have a secret conversation, so you can kind of hear. It's just generally you catch the names and everything like that. But yeah, two of you.
So once I guess we're situated up there, Eva's definitely going to try and like climb up onto Onyx's back like she does and sort of sit on her shoulders, her feathers drumming on the top of her head while Eva like peers out, happy smile on her face, you know, looking out around the ocean. And she seems to be kind of like at home. She's found, you know, a place to be. After a little bit, she's just going to kind of be like, Onyx, very like softly and kindly.
After, by the way, after a minute, my wings disappear. But I can still climb back down because the gloves that I got are climbing and swimming.
Yes, you have gloves of climbing and swimming. There is little footholds.
I believe it or not, I have actually sailed on a tall ship before and climbed the rigging.
That's amazing.
In real life.
I have as well.
But I thought you were going to say, believe it or not, I have actually flown up to a crow's nest before, and I was like, wow.
Believe it or not, I actually have spectral wings that I can unfurl once a day.
I would actually 100% fully believe that. That's not even a joke. If you told me I've got these spectral wings, I would be like, you know what, that tracks. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'll let you continue.
Oh yeah. What is it?
Eva requests a salted biscuit.
Are you saying you want a cracker?
Yes.
Do not.
As she's sitting on Eva's shoulders with her tricorn hat.
Onyx is gonna like look in her belt pouch and be like, oh, for some reason I actually have crackers in my belt pouch, and just kind of.
Eva will happily just take it and munch on it while happily perched on Onyx's shoulders.
Nice. Well, just let me know when you want to go down and I'll start climbing.
Well, yeah, let's climb down. I want to see what it's like to climb up and down. I don't think you can always fly me up here.
I'm gonna roll for it.
For how good the cracker is, or for climbing down?
I mean,
Dale biscuit.
I only rolled a 6, but since I have those gloves, that's a 15.
That is a good roll. Yeah, you climbed down perfectly okay.
Yeah. What do you want me to roll for climbing down?
You're just on my back, aren't you?
No, I want to try climbing down myself. Eva's gonna have to get up and down on their own.
You can just roll athletics.
Athletics, okay.
Athletics or acrobatics. I will allow either.
I'm gonna go. Oh wait, that has better. Yeah. Oh my god. That one. Plus 3, so a 4, but like it's a 1.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. You all watch as Onyx begins to make her way down the footholds. And Eva carefully puts one of her feet out on the footholds, puts the other one, begins to climb down, gets a couple of steps down, and just slips and goes.
Can I try to make a dexterity saving throw to catch her?
You can try.
Oh, I got a good roll on that one. 23.
All right, yeah, I'll allow it. You catch her just as she's kind of bump down to the bottom. You kind of like steady her and stop her from really hurting herself. And Well, Eva, you made it to the bottom.
As Eva lands, Estrella has been just kind of like watching the whole thing unfold. Will quietly dig into her bag, and hand her just like a small length of rope, and just be like, "We should secure that."
Eva will brush herself off, walk over, grab the small offered piece of rope, and she's just gonna like tie it around her waist. Like, no problems, no questions, concerns, agreeing, like she's just gonna tie it around her waist.
Sure.
You would while you were up for the small amount of time that you were up in the crow's nest, it's not a bad space, it's quite a large space. You could probably, quite happily make a little, like, I don't know, like a little den up there with some space to sleep and you're quite a small person as well,
like
so it's
a nest.
like a net.
Like a crow's nest?
Like a crow's nest. Oh my god.
And I mean, the only really thing, the first thing that would have struck you while up there is the incredible view that you have of absolutely everything, which is perfect. But the second thing is you can kind of see really wide out to the kind of the expanse of the water. At this point, as you're kind of climbing down, and I guess the thing that would have contributed to your nat one, the gangplank was kind of hauled away and the boat began to move, and that was kind of what jostled everything and made you fall. But the wave of mischief grins that went across the entire cast, happens a lot. So you are now on the move. You would notice, I think that, like, while you're up there, you don't just get like a great read of like everything below, but you can kind of see the sky and all of the birds. You're definitely heading towards like a huge, like, sort of flock of gulls that are kind of flying around. But yeah, and you are all now sailing. Is there anything that anyone wants to do? You're in the process of getting a biscuit. Is that?
Yes, I ate the biscuit up there. My salted biscuit. No, well, we did it up there. I was eating it on Onyx's shoulders.
Mm-hmm. I have a question, and this is important for spells and shit. How tall is that mast?
What an excellent question that I definitely don't know the answer to. In what I would say it's pretty tall. It's a rather large boat.
Is it more than 30 feet?
More than 30 feet.
I can look this up for future reference.
This size, it's gotta be big, more than 30 feet.
I would have thought average.
If it has 3 masts, it's probably a bark. Or Wikipedia says it could also be a jackass bark.
Yo, me too.
I can feel that.
Let me think.
It's got to be a big sail to move that shit.
I think it will be the top of it where the crow. Well, I mean, the crow's nest would not be like balancing on the top. It will be like kind of around. There will be a little. I would say probably it is just outside the 30 feet range.
Okay, so I cannot misty step up to it from the deck.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Not by much, but it's sort of maybe like about 40 feet.
Maybe if I jumped first. No.
You could like, I don't know, you could probably maybe you could kind of momentum your way into some force, jump up, and then maybe try to catch onto something just below it and climb up the rest of the way. But you probably wouldn't be able to just misty step directly up into the crow's nest.
Okay, I'm looking this up in the meantime.
Someone did post in the Twitch some really good information. We have Phoenix posted some really good stuff.
Thank
in
you,
the Twitch
Angela.
chat.
I'm
That's
actually
exactly
reading the
thing that I'm
exact same
reading. I was
article
thinking
right
that
now.
there's probably
Yeah.
a large.
And also, I don't
Well,
even
actually,
know
no, we
that
can
this is a
actually find that
sailboat
out.
so much as it is a full like galleon style
It's
ship.
This is a proper
honestly.
ship.
It's
This is a proper
I
ship.
think it's larger than 20 feet is the thing though. It's probably at least,
Honestly, I think like 50.
well,
At least.
honestly, we can figure it out. We don't have to figure out the details right now,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I will figure it out.
There are plenty of things that have precedent for masts being like 70, 80 feet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It depends. Like honestly, my guess was gonna be somewhere in the realm of like 80 to 100.
This is a big boat.
This is a big boat.
Ooh.
Oh.
It
Yeah,
is a
'cause,
big
like-
boat. Yeah.
Because like the boat itself is, you know,
Yeah, so
We can see how many
it's like
feet it is.
it's like
across.
100 feet.
it's
from,
150 feet
Yeah.
from stern
Stern to
to
stern, yeah.
So I
bowsprit.
think you're probably looking at a pretty tall mast then.
Yeah.
Like
And the
probably
crow's
70.
nest, like I said, is not all the way at the very, very top. It's probably
Mhm.
about 3/4 of the way up.
It's still probably too tall
Yeah,
to Misty step up.
100%.
Yeah, it does seem like it's too tall to Misty
Yeah.
step.
Anyway. Ship pedantics
Anyway,
aside.
we've all learned some facts about boats today. This is just where it begins for me as a dungeon master who decided to run a water-based section of their campaign, and I'm now going to get asked loads of questions. I'm going to be like, I know nothing about boating. Let me just get that Google up.
I ended up with like a ship hyperfixation when I was like super young after reading a certain book, and I'm just like, it never went away.
Mm.
Then I will be deferring any and all ship-based questions to Jen from now on.
And Joan. Joan's got stuff too.
Between the two of you, and I'll go what they said.
I open my mouth and Jen and Joan's voice comes out.
All right. Cool. So you were at the top. You ate your little cracker. It was delicious, and then you've come down now. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Polly has had her cracker.
Polly has had her cracker. Cool. Is there anything else that you would like to do at this point? Cascade kind of says, right, well, we're off. My understanding is that we are to the Dakra Isles.
So just before that, I think Kulika would just kind of like take a step back to look at her home that they're leaving behind right now, and she'll stand next to Callista and notice that, that Callista is not really talking much, but is just looking over the helm, and joins her over there. And as they see as the last bit of land slowly vanished, and she looks over to Callista and says, sometimes it's nicer when they're not there to tell you goodbye. Makes it a little easier. And looking around, she says, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but this out here, surrounded by the ocean, the sea, does it feel more like home to you?
I don't know yet. I mean, I've never had a home really. I mean, I had the temple, but it never really felt like home. I was surrounded by all my sisters, but they weren't my sisters. They were just other oracles. And we were there to be of service. So this for me, it's really exciting to get to see something. And maybe I will find an actual home somewhere someday.
And your ancestors, do you know where you're from? Do you feel something when you're here? Like, I know that the gods, they talk to you sometimes even through you. And I know that I ask you this many times, especially when things get too scary, but how are you feeling? Like, the people on the boat, they're quite close-knit as we are almost. And I can definitely say that I know that all of you have my back. Them, I'm not too sure of. But what do you feel? Do you think in the wider purpose that we are now set out for, that they have a path that hopefully doesn't land them on the other side of us?
I'm going to actually ask the DM how Callista is feeling about the crew with her passive insight. Does she get a good
Yeah.
feeling about them?
Yeah. Remind me of your passive insight score. It's pretty high, isn't it?
21.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you get a pretty good vibe. Like I said, I'll go through them individually. Cascade seems a little guarded with strangers, as the rest of you are. But she is eager to make all of your acquaintances and to get onto the sea. You can sense that she really has a deep affinity with the sea and enjoys being on the water more than on land. So as you kind of sail out, she seems to relax a little more. Suri is often skulking in corners. She is definitely of all of them, seems to be the most hostile, but it's not hostile born of like kind of any ill feeling. It's just more that she seems a little defensive and a little suspicious and wary herself. Tilly is the hardest to get a real read on. Mostly just seems bored and a little bit a little bit like she's waiting for something to happen and to become useful. And going by the size of the longsword on her back, she really only has like one big role within this crew. And who else do we have? Hector has all but disappeared, but the read that you feel like he's a bit of an open book. He's not trying to hide that he is not necessarily a bad person, but certainly has some less than desirable qualities about his personality. He's a little bit superior in his approach. And who was left? And Cedric seemed seemed like this sweet little goblin. Bit weird when he was asking about maybe eating Caillou, but like he just seemed a little unsure, a little nervous, but happy to be of assistance and of help.
Okay, yeah, so Callista will be, I get a good feeling about them. I think they're not sure about us, but we're really not sure about them either. But I think we can trust them at least to keep us safe on the water.
That's true. And I trust you, Callista, but Dion, seriously? Like, do you think it's a good idea letting him back on? And she looks quite hesitantly at Onyx, but not in that very direct staring at Onyx, because she knows that like Onyx definitely picks up on any vibes directed towards them. So just kind of like looks at Onyx and says, I mean, Onyx hasn't really spoken too much since we left her home, but I hope she's doing okay. And I know how sometimes she could get a little thick-headed when she comes to what she feels about somebody. But the fact that she's doesn't have her hand wrapped around Dion's throat right now means probably in a good mood. But isn't it pushing it a little having him on board with us?
Maybe. I mean, if we've learned anything, I suppose having an extra sword might not be such a bad thing going into what we potentially are going into, but I'll watch him. But I think Onyx can. I think she's okay with it. I mean, she hasn't tried to kill him lately, so I guess that's a good sign.
Just in case. Maybe we should not keep them between like 20 feet of each other for the first few days at least.
That might be a good idea. I can always try to get him to play a game of dice and keep him occupied.
Oh, yes. I wanted to tell you, Calista. So I learned how to do this thing. It's very similar to what you do, but I haven't practiced it too much. But when you're playing dice, Dion, let's just say I'll just be standing on the opposite end of the room, and do a little bit of this. We get all of Dion's gold. I know you have nothing to do with gold, but after seeing the others, I think we can buy some pretty things for ourselves.
That sounds like fun. I'd definitely be open to that. We
Oh,
should give it a
boy.
try.
You are corrupting Callista.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Kalyuka that started it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Callista is just like, can somebody please make me a bad person? Thank you.
She's just excited to be experiencing the world outside the temple.
Be gay, do crime. Okay.
So while that conversation's going on, Eva's probably going to look over, see Dion standing off by his own, her pin of guilt that he's by himself kind of raising up in her. So she's going to click-clack her way sort of across the deck over to Dion. She's going to offer up the other end of her rope around her waist to him to hold on to. And if she's going to hold it up to him.
He'll look a little confused because he's not really been like involved in anything that's happened, so he'll just go, thank you, and he'll grab it, but he'll be like, what's this for?
Make sure I don't fall off the boat. And then she's gonna instantly start walking towards the edge of the boat, kind of tugging him along with her.
Okay. Whoa, what are you doing? Eva, that might not be a good idea. He's kind of trying to like, not like, he doesn't want to like tug you back, he doesn't want to like be that person, but he's like, Eva, and he's looking around desperately for like help.
And she's gonna hold it.
How long is this piece of rope? He's looking down the edge, like, is she just gonna be dangling in the air?
No, she hasn't gone over the edge. She's just walking up to the edge, and she's gonna climb herself up a little bit, but not up and over. And she's just kind of like gonna sort of hang over the edge a bit so she can look down at the water, look at the waves crashing, and then she's gonna look back at him and sort of motion him over to come look with her.
Oh, I see. You want to look at okay, and then he'll just relax, and he'll kind of position himself so he can kind of hold onto the rope tightly, and he'll kind of look over with you, and he'll go, "Do you know what? It's been a long time since I've seen the sea.
This is my first time."
Oh, really? That surprises me.
It's pretty.
It is. You can see these little like fish kind of like swimming. The water's pretty clear, sort of this sparkling crystal blue. It's really gorgeous. And at this point, like just this little fish just kind of sort of is very close to the surface, and it kind of almost keeps pace with the boat for a little bit, and then it just disappears off.
Aoife is going to be very intrigued by that. She's going to like gasp, point at it, and then she's going to look over her other shoulder back at Onyx, wherever Onyx is, and she's going to motion, come look at this, Onyx.
The moment you feel a little like shift in pressure in the way that the rope is taut around you, the moment that you kind of say Onyx's name, and you've got a very high passive insight as well, I feel like, so you would notice that Dion becomes very tense when Onyx walks over. I love that Kalyuka and Callista were plotting like, let's keep Onyx and Dion as far away from each other as possible, and Eva has immediately gone, both of you come here and join me.
Come here.
And he kind of looks uncomfortable, but says nothing as you join Onyx.
Onyx
joins.
just kind of gives him a look and is just like,
And he says, "Hey Onyx, how you doing?"
She just stares at him. Eva, what did you want me to see?
Look at the fish. And she's gonna point down while like leaning heavily over a thing.
Just gonna
with her
kind of
rope.
hold on to the scruff of her neck or something.
It's okay. Like she's gonna feel it. She's gonna be like, no, it's okay. Dion's got me.
Yeah, she's not gonna let go.
And Dion kind of noticed this edge and just says, "Oh, if you want to take over, it's okay," and goes to hand you the rope.
I guess Onyx will kind of hold her hand out for it.
Nope. Eva's gonna lean back and just with the strict be like, nope. You two got to work out your problems. I can feel the tension in the air. I don't like it.
Okay, then Onyx is just gonna let go and just walk away.
Oh. Dion will watch you walk away, and he will look at Eva and he'll go, "Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but she's got every right to be angry, Eva. It's okay."
I just don't want you guys to, I don't want you to keep feeling like you aren't welcome here. Like you're here to help us. You're trying,
He's
and I know it's gonna take time. But I'm trying. And she's gonna shrug her shoulders and be like, if it's not time, it's time, but I'm gonna keep trying, and maybe one time she'll want to talk. But if not, today is not the time. I'm not upset about it. It's okay. Sometimes you just need someone to be like,
he will look at you and he will say, you know, I don't know Onyx very well, but I feel like she's an actions speak louder than words person. Maybe it's not a case of me talking to her. I've got to show her. When we catch up with this Lady Helene, she'll see.
There. But my task for you, hold on to my rope, make sure I don't go overboard.
And you kind of, as you're having this conversation, he kind of like smiles and he goes, "Very well, I will make sure that I don't let go of the rope." And at this point, you've been sailing for a little while now, and a gull kind of makes its way down. It sort of circles down and it lands next to you, kind of on the edge of the boat, Eva. And it kind of looks up at you, and it just kind of goes, "Ah!"
That was such a good
That was a good gull.
bird. Jesus.
Eva's gonna be taken aback a little bit by the audacity of this bird screaming in her face. And then I am
all
going...
the birds that you've met are so polite up until this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my my speak with animal.
And so this bird has been kind of like at you, and then after a few like seconds it will do it again, but it's quite audacious. Like there's a lot of people on this boat and it's not at all intimidated by the amount of people around. And the moment that you kind of have this speak with animals kind of takes effect, it just goes, food. Wait,
Food? What
Yeah,
do you
you
want?
can
Stop
understand
screaming at me.
wait,
Yeah.
you can understand me?
Yeah, I'm a bird.
Oh boy, this is going to make this so much easier. You got any food?
Eva's gonna reach into her bag, shuffle around for her usual cookie, take it out, break it in half, and offer it over to the seagull.
The seagull's going to kind of like hop forward a little bit, and it will just quickly peck up the food, and it's going to go, mate, you just giving me this food? That's a rookie error, mate. And then it's going to go, I'm never going to leave you alone now. Me and my buddies, we're following you to the end.
I mean,
But I appreciate it. What's your name? Eva, great.
Eva.
That's a great name.
Thank you.
You kind of look like me, Eva, but kind of not.
Only a little bit. Like got some beaks a little bit different.
I feel like we got a lot in common.
Yeah.
You got any more food?
I don't. She's gonna kind of
No?
like put her bag aside. Not right now. Maybe later. If you're good and you don't poop on anybody.
Later.
Later.
Like sun gone later. Got it.
Probably after sun gone later. Yeah.
After sun gone later. Got it. Thanks, Eva. Bye. And it just
Bye.
like flies off. And as he kind of flies off, and you watch him go, and you just take a moment, and you just hear, you feel a sort of strange acknowledgement. The chat going fucking wild for that accent. You hear this kind of strange feeling of like you've just found something, a secret, and at the same time, quite close to your ear, you hear, "Oh, big water, big water."
Eva's gonna like straighten up, like her eyes are gonna go wide, and she's gonna start looking around. Big water?
Feather friend, you can hear me? It's me. And he just sort of crawl out from your shoulder, and down your arm is this tiny little spider. And he goes,
Julio.
you know how long I've been trying to speak to you, but you couldn't hear me. I thought you could hear me.
Julio.
Eva's gonna reach over with a feather and just kind of like pick up the tiny little spider. And hold it.
How you doing, feather friend?
Oh my! She's gonna go and go little spider kisses with the beak. What?
Careful, I think that you're trying to eat him.
This little spider's just looking up at you. One thing you will notice immediately, because you're quite perceptive, is the spider is you're pretty sure it didn't glow before, but it is giving off this very strange hint of like a sort of small purple glow.
Durkle, more Durkle.
More Durkle. We can't not have Durkle. And he says, I've been on so many adventures.
Since the cave?
Yeah.
Because we've only been on like one adventure since the cave. What have you been doing?
Oh boy. Well, I went to cave, followed big web, found myself in the cave, then found this really fluffy, warm, woolly friend. Lived there for
the
a bit.
ram.
Cozy,
Goat.
comfy. Yeah, the ram. Then woolly friends start moving, and there you are again, feather friend. So I crawl up, I say hi, and I fall asleep on your cloak. And while I was asleep, I met Shiny Star Man. He said he'd been watching me and you talk. And I said, that's kind of rude. Listening to people's conversations, super rude, especially without their consent. But he asked me if it was a private conversation, and I said, no, not really. So he said that he kind of doesn't, he he was very like, he seemed understanding that it was rude. So I let it slide, but he was shiny and he was made of stars and it was weird. But he told me that you needed a friend, feather friend. And I told him, hey, it's cool that you're looking out for feather friend, but feather friend's got loads of friends. There's a lightning lady, and then there's stripes, and there's fish friend, and then there's like the winged one,
That's like more than one.
Yeah, loads of friends. I mean, not as many friends as me. I've got thousands of friends, but it's a good start. And then he says, but he was still concerned. He said you needed a smaller friend, and they're pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty big, and they need like light, and like it's. Yeah.
I don't need light.
I got you, buddy.
He says, then I said, hey, Shiny Starman, I got a great idea. I'm small. I could be Feathered Friend's friend. And he said he thought it was a great idea.
Two more, another friend.
And you get this sense that this is the secret that Crufix was keeping from you to find, and that you friend count super high. Yeah. Julio now has 1,001 friends, many friends. So and
be careful, Kat. I will keep track of those numbers.
Little spider is yours to keep. Can be implemented in whichever way you possibly want. And there's a sort of connection between you that will allow you to speak. He kind of says, since you started speaking to me, I feel kind of warm, and as he continues to talk, suddenly his little voice is in your head. And he's speaking to you telepathically.
This is I mean, having never had anyone in her head before, I don't think she's probably really gonna notice too much, because it just seems like he's talking and his mouth is never really moving. So it's all the same but different. But as she's sitting there with her new friend, her eyes are gonna go wide and she's like, oh my gosh, I need to introduce you to Caillou.
I'm just picturing this Julio making like a little hammock using Caillou's horn and just like chilling.
1,002 friends.
1,002 friends.
You think about actually as you've been kind of having these adventures the past couple of weeks and making preparations, you think about the fact that like when you've like been getting things out of your pocket, occasionally you would found like this really weird like slightly white stringy material, and you just assumed it had been some kind of like cotton or lint or something like that. But now it makes perfect sense. Julio has just been living on you and making little webs on your body and kind of nestling into your feathers, and you had no real idea. He's pretty lucky, really, that like that hadn't gone very wrong for him. But that gives you the sense that he's a scrappy little spider that understands survival. And is excited about the prospect of adventures with you. Shall we head to break, everyone? How are we feeling? Yeah, we get to have a good 15-minute break. We're doing pretty good for time. Let's get a break then, and we'll see you all in about 15 minutes time. Hope you've all been enjoying the stream so far. I'm just seeing that Reaper joined and said, oh, I'm so glad I didn't miss about the spider. You did miss my Australian accent though, I think.
He was actually referring to the accent.
Oh, I thought it was the spider. God damn it. Okay, well, great. Cool. So see you all in about 15 minutes time. Bye. We are back. We are back with another the second half of season 2 of Therosian Odysseys, Tides of Volition, episode 3. We're excited. We've had quite an eventful first half. We've met some of the crew that my lovely cast are going to be traveling with. We've met a very audacious seagull, and we've been reintroduced to some of the characters from season 1 that, you know, some awkwardly, Dion of the Burning Spheres, and some of them a little less awkwardly, but kind of a bit weird, but okay, we'll just go with it. The Spider, so they are back, and so before we begin, there are a couple of little bits that I didn't notice, but that my cast wanted to. There was a couple of things that they wanted to do. So Jen had a couple of moments, so we're going to quickly run over those and make sure that they are included, and then we will continue our story. So go for it, Jen.
Hi, I'm so sorry to bring us back in time a little bit. I'm actually going to bring us a little bit back in time to as the boat is leaving the harbor of Miletus. Estrella is going to kind of wander up to Callista and lean on the side of the boat next to her, kind of looking back at the city, looking back at the docks, looking back at the skyline, and just kind of like drinking in that vision of the city as the boat pulls away, looking at kind of the docks, looking at the picture that we just had, and just kind of like enjoying the view of that. And she'll kind of like give Callista like a little shoulder bump and kind of like look out onto the city and pick out the library spire of the Decacia and say, that one's mine. Which one's yours?
And Callista will just scan the skyline and point to the temple and say, I guess technically that one, although it never really felt like home. I mean, I lived there all my life. I was raised there, but I don't know. It was just a place.
I know what you mean. That over there is the library. It always felt like a second home, and then Akros was the third. But I never thought about how pretty it looked from the ocean.
It really is beautiful. But then, and Callista will turn and look out towards the sea. So is out there.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never been on a journey this long. Obviously, I've been on a ship before. I spent enough time, but this is going to be an interesting one. She pulls out a sextant and astrolabe and everything, charts and maps. This is going to be quite the adventure, I think.
I think it will be.
And when we're done, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be looking for work.
I've never. Well, I mean, I guess I've always worked, but
Let me rephrase. If you are feeling like you can set your sights a bit past the temple, join me.
Oh, I would love to. I think we would make a good team. I mean,
between the two of us with our rock throwing and lightning slinging, I think we would make a pretty good team.
That means a lot to me, Estrella. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I've never been out in the world before.
I don't know if you've noticed, Callista, but you're a badass.
Really? Oh, thank you.
Did you see Arachne's, well, not her face because she was squished, but did you see that?
It just felt like the thing to do in the moment. I've just kind of been reacting ever since I ran away.
Well, maybe we can run away together.
I would like that.
And I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. First, there's all of this stuff with my current employer and my former current. I don't know at this point. It's weird, but there are things that I have to fulfill. She kind of like reaches into her pocket and just kind of like, you know, brushes her fingers against the glass ball, the glorb in her pocket, and she's just kind of like, I don't know what happens once this is over, but I just wanted you to know that for lack of more eloquence, I think you are a badass.
Oh, thank you. I think you are too. I mean, you're the way you are with people and your ability to just talk your way into or out of any situation is just.
Oh, honestly, my ability to take an arrow and immediately just almost die about it. Like, you know, there's two sides to every story there.
Well, you know, I have your back. And I think everyone here does.
Actually, my front was the problem that time, but thank you. Come on, let's go. Let's go get familiar with the ship.
That sounds good.
That was all I had. Thank you, Kat.
That's okay. To be honest, in terms of the timeline, it's not really that far, and everything was kind of mishmashed a little bit together.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but it's good. You're kind of becoming familiar with the ship. I will just put this out there. Is there anything anyone else wanted to do? Any moments they wanted to have? Anyone they wanted to go and chat to or learn more about? Please feel free now to speak now. Yes, Jen.
Cascade. Is she kind of like out on deck, taking care of shit? Is she up on the wheel? Is she like, what's she up to?
Cascade is so she is on the deck at the moment. She seems a little like that might not be the case all the time, but right now she's really enjoying the feeling of kind of getting out into the water. And she's kind of scanning the horizon, and she's not really like doing anything with the wheel, but she is kind of standing around it. Just as well, because I did forget to mention, I did tell everyone that I would mention this. We are implementing, so that things like this don't get missed. We are implementing a little handheld system. So if you see people with their hands up, I've probably clocked it, but if you think I haven't clocked it, please tell me in chat, because I'm keeping an eye on the chat as well, as best I can. Yeah, people with their hands up is just where they're waiting to say that they wanted to do something. Anyway, continuing, yes. So she's kind of stood on she's kind of like occasionally she's kind of looking up. She's got a little like notebook, and she's kind of like reading through it, and then occasionally looking out to see.
I'll just kind of like walk up off to the side. I'm going to make the assumption that she knows that I am there, because she is the fucking captain of a whole ass ship and she knows what she's doing. And I will just kind of like not a whisper, but like quietly enough that like a conversation can be private. I think we may have gotten off to the wrong foot, but I did want to let you know that I do have some capabilities, particularly in the mapping and observation fields, and wanted to offer my services, such as they are, for anything that you or the crew might need while we are aboard.
As you kind of approach her, she's kind of reading through, and as you talk, she's like, what gave you the impression that we'd gotten off to the wrong foot? Vibe check.
Vibe check. I need a vibe check. Fuckity fuck penis. Okay. Dice tray. The vibe check is a 12. Jesus fuck.
You do not roll well with your insight, do you?
Well, it's a plus
not
2.
An insightful being.
It's a plus 2. I do my best.
That's okay. I mean, I say you don't roll well. You don't roll by your standards. You're average, decidedly average with your insight capabilities. She vibe check. She other than maybe seeming a little irritated at being interrupted, she's in the middle of thinking of something or doing something, and just kind of walked on up to her and just started talking. She doesn't seem actively hostile. She just
did she seem sarcastic at all when she was like, "What gave you that idea?"
Maybe a little. It's not like hostile, like, oh, why do you think that we don't like each other? It's just more like, that's interesting that you've picked up that there might be something there. I'm not saying that there is, but maybe there is. What makes you think that?
Okay. Estrella will then kind of give a quiet chuckle and well, I know I'm not exactly the best people person, but call it intuition. I don't want to be aboard a vessel where there is anything but trust in between myself and those captaining it. And that is not to say that there is lost trust, but I do like to I don't want to make anyone here feel like I am anything but willing to help.
She takes a long breath, and she says, well, Lady Estrella, I do apologize if I made you nervous or uncomfortable in any way. It's just strange. I've never seen a lady with such intuition before.
Lady is a title that was granted to me when I began studying at the Dicacia, and I was assigned to a family of nobility for my thesis.
Yes, I already know your history. Well,
you would, of course, yes. Jericho? Anyway.
Who else?
Anyway, it is not a title by birth that I'm aware of. It is a title that was thrust upon me because of the expectations of the Dicacia, but it is by no means something that it is a title that I wear because that is my profession. It is not a title that I claim or identify with.
A professional lady. But she kind of looks you up and down, and you feel like she's looking at you properly for the first time, and having a real moment where she's kind of checking herself a little bit. Like she's obviously done a little research, had a chat with Jericho, made a few assumptions about a lot of things, and she kind of looks and she realizes, you're wearing kind of like fancy clothes, but there's there's mended parts of them, and
some arrow holes,
particularly to the arrow holes. And there's a sort of a little bit of a hardiness about you that maybe she didn't actually really clock the first time.
Yeah. Like my fingers aren't like these fancy like porcelain soft fingers. Like they've seen some work.
Yeah, there's like some calluses a little bit there. Like you have a couple of like really old like injuries and things like that. And she looks at you properly for the first time, and she's just like, no, there is value to what you're saying. You are right. We have an accord.
I will take her hand and give it and match her whatever the fuck she's doing with it.
Match, and she is.
I imagine it's quite.
She goes for a sort of a medium light, because again, that little assumption of like, oh, she's a little bit nobility, but she might not want a strong handshake.
Oh no!
And then when you give it a little bit like more oomph, she kind of like lets out a laugh, and she goes, more and more surprising. You know how to do a decent handshake.
Well, college interviews, you know.
I wouldn't know, but
there is more to me than meets the eye, and honestly, I did spend a lot of time studying up on cartography and other things of a more nautical nature. By all means, should the need arise, I am at your disposal.
Could certainly be useful, given our whereabouts.
Particularly around the Dakra Isles. Might be worth having a map.
Don't suppose you have an accurate map of the Isles of the Dakra Isles and where they are all situated and what can be found upon them?
Well, the idea is that I hopefully will by the time we're done here.
And at that point, you get a really genuine smile. And she goes, you know what, Lady Estrella? Maybe you will.
Pharisees to us both. I will walk off and leave her to her captainly duties.
Captainly duties. For the record, I'm guessing that you kind of wanted to have a little a look around the boat generally. If you were gonna, so I'm gonna remove some exciting little like bits on your map now so that you can see. So they will have shown you. Let me just get this out.
Look at this, everyone. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at that boat. Look at that boat.
Okay, so on this, let's just quickly do the top one first.
Oh, dang.
That large area, none of you have seen that yet. Cascade will have gestured to that and has said, that's my quarters, that's my cabin. I'm the captain of the ship. She has her own cabin, but has not invited any of you inside currently. It's not an open house. Oh, come and have a look at my little... so she's gestured inside. However, this bottom one that shows us a little bit more, she will have taken you down, and you will have seen. Okay, so let me do this bit by bit. So this is kind of the whole area. You can see there's a few boxes of supplies and things and kind of where the masts are, but it's a relatively empty area. Either side is where the crew are kind of bedding down for the night and sleeping. She will have shown you, and Cedric would have most definitely been inside cooking up something delicious. Little kitchen.
Love a good galley.
And the food stores should have shown you, obviously, the toilet. The dunny, as it were.
The head.
Huh?
The head.
Yeah. And she would have briefly kind of shown you kind of where a lot of the weapons. The ship is kind of lined with a ballista, and this is where you will find, should you need it. Each ballista has like a stack of them next to it, about sort of. Let's see, probably I would say about let's go to about like 8 per ballista kind of stacked together. But if you need more of them, this is where you will find them, and this is where they will be restocked from. Then and it's down here that, like, as you kind of come down, Hector is just sat on top of a box. He's kind of like in the middle of reading a book, and he immediately shuts it and he goes, yes, I was just picking my room. Yes.
What's the book? Is it something fun?
the book, you see
It's
it to
smut.
be a religious text
Oh,
regarding
boring.
Thassa.
Damn it! I was hoping it'd be something
Damn.
fun like I don't know, like fantasy Gossip Girl or some shit.
Erotica. Well, you don't know. You don't know what else he's got in that bag of his. But this one seems to be like a religious text. But you can't really get a good look at it. And he goes, yes. He seems more flustered because he's been caught not really doing a whole lot while everyone else is scurrying around and getting busy. And he goes, yes, you've come down. I was just
Blessing our voyage.
Absolutely, you understand. And
I give Callista just kind of like an eye rolly look.
Do remind me, Cascade, which room is mine? So Cascade turns to him and says, well, you can either choose to bunk here or here. And he kind of looks and he's like, forgive me, with everyone else, I was informed that this ship had rooms of a more private nature. And she goes, indeed, Hector, for our emissaries here, Lady Estrella and Onyx, Callista, they even for them, there's not one each. There will have to be some sharing involved, but I'm sure that they won't mind. Apart from my own cabin, the rest of you will be bunking in with the crew. And she's giving him a really fucking behave yourself look, and there's this real look of like crushing disappointment on his face, and he's like, I just believe, for my studies and for my for frankly a man of my stature, that I would have my own room.
I'll walk up to him and I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder. You can always rig a curtain.
And these are the rooms that you will be shown.
Oh, yes!
So there are 3 rooms. Obviously, there are 5 of you. So
Onyx will say, I don't mind bunking with the crew.
That's true.
Okay.
That's just like...
Okay, so you're saying that you don't mind bunking in with the crew?
Correct.
So, in which Hector obviously will leap upon that, and he'll go, if she doesn't mind, that's most noble of you, Onyx of Setessa.
But you probably have to share with Dion.
Your room? Huh?
You'll probably have to share with Dion.
Dion, I believe, is bunking with and Dion's like, yeah, I'm bunking with the crew. And he kind of looks at Onyx and he goes, I'll choose whichever side. I don't want any trouble.
And actually, I think at that point, Hector is going to hear in his head, if you bunk with the crew, it's easier for you to spread the good word of Thassa to all of the crew.
So you've just fully telepathically started chatting to him.
Yep.
Okay. So you all watch as Hector is he's got this really hopeful expression. He thinks he's finally going to get his own room. And then all of a sudden his eyes go wide. And he's like, Thassa? And he's looking at all of you. I'm gonna see if he can. He's not like stupid, okay? So I'm gonna see if he can figure out that it's a. Actually, do you know what? It would be your voice, though, wouldn't it? And he has heard your voice.
And Callista will just wave at him.
Okay. For a moment, you see that he truly believes that his deity just spoke to him, and then he clocks it together, and he's. Most remarkable gift. I cannot confess that I have been blessed with the same, but you are an oracle, of course. You Make a persuasion check. Make a persuasion check for me.
Okay. Was a natural 18
Oh my god.
plus 1, so 19.
19 is really good because he's not stupid, but he does like the idea of spreading the good word of the Lady Thassa.
Who's a good little proselytizer.
He takes a moment. He goes, you know, Lady Callista, there may be something of value in what you've just said. It will be a new experience for me. Very well, Cascade. I shall of course bed down with the crew.
I think at that point, Callista will walk into one of the bedrooms and just jump up and down on the bed a little bit, just to, because this is all so exciting for her.
Who is sharing with who? Do we have a preference?
So
Eva's gonna look a little hurt when Onyx says that she's gonna go room with the crew. Eva's gonna have a little bit of a.
After the what's his face backs down, Onyx will just kind of shrug and then look around, and then if she sees that Eva's feeling sad, she'll be like, "Oh, Eva, did you want a room together?"
Puppy dog eyes, like Eva is like big black puppy dog eyes.
All right, but Dion's not allowed in our room.
Eva's gonna look over at Dion, look at Onyx, look at Dion, be like, "Okay, that's fair." Yeah. All right.
Callista, why don't we bunk together? I think Kaliuka maybe would warrant her own bed.
That's just she's the Goliath.
Whoa!
Look, she's tall. She can sleep diagonally, but like.
Also, she has her roommate.
Yes, Caillou. She's got Caillou.
Little Caillou.
She does. So so we're gonna do Estrella and Callista in one room. Kaliuka by herself in a room with Caillou. Little Caillou is very excited to have a little
I'm
space.
gonna take the room furthest away from the kitchen and like quickly write on the front of the door, "No goblins allowed."
That is. Are you writing a little sign that says "No goblins allowed"?
Yeah.
Kaliuka!
Maybe no chefs?
No, actually, yeah.
Bunnies
No,
are
I'm like-
friends, not food.
No, I'll just actually do like no, and then draw like as well as I can a caricature of our little friend Frederick on the door.
Just him.
Oh,
Chef's
that's
hat!
so.
Don't be mean to Cedric!
That-
Oh my god!
That has broken my heart. Like, I completely understand the intent behind it, but that has broken my heart. Okay, so you put this little notice up that just basically says, "I will, this goblin coming in here is not okay."
When Onyx sees it, she's like, "Can you make me one with Dion's picture on it?"
Yeah, oh my god, I'm gonna go and make like a very crude version of the same, but it's like a caricature of Dion like jumping off burning spears. You know,
It's
sort of
very
like,
clear who that is in reference to. Dion at one point comes over and he's like, try, you're gonna try, and he comes over and he's like, "So what you draw?" Oh.
Oh, poor Dion.
Is that supposed to be me?
No, it's Leon of the frozen spears.
All right, I'll be. He's gonna give Onyx a look. He's gonna like, "I'm gonna go. I'll go back up." And he just heads back up. Now that you have successfully isolated yourself from half the crew, you make your little notes, and yes, you get the one furthest away, and then Onyx and Eva in one room, and Cass. God, I was really about to say Cassian.
Yeah.
I
Castrea.
know, Jen looked at me like, excuse me. Callista.
Callista, are you secretly
Astrea.
Cassian in disguise? Is that why you want to sleep with me now?
No, I'll tell you what I was about to say. I was about to combine Callista and Astrea and say Castrea, which we all know is the ship name for Cassian and Astrea. So really, like, I'm clearly missing them already. So
my brain went, no, it's called the Durkle Wave Runner.
That's the ship
still
we're
can't
on
believe
right
that
oh
now.
my god, we're all so tired.
One slip of the tongue from literally session 1, like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes in. This is what I get for it.
Yeah, and it's a legacy now. You've built a legacy from it. Cool. So you have your own little area. Let me just check if there's any what else that they would show you. Yes, there is. So this is like the little common room. And you are overjoyed, Callista, to see that there's already a couple of crewmates that are kind of, I guess, on their break. They're playing some dice at the table. There's something set up with some cards as well. But this is kind of where people will come to chill out and have a good time. And probably you can see there's these like shelves. They're filled with, bottles of various alcoholic drinks and such.
I was really hoping you were going to say board games.
Astrea walks into the room, gets excited when she sees shelves, and then realizes that like there's not books in them, and then she's like, oh.
But when you walk into your room, those books are lined with shelves. Those shelves are lined with books, sorry.
I love it when the book is lined with shelves. I love it.
The book is lined to the room with shelves. I'm so tired, clearly. I think I need some sleep, guys. The book is lined with shelves, yeah. The Durkle is lined with globs and globs. You find that generally the theming of a lot of the books is very naval based. See like things that you might find out and see a little bit on the Dakra Isles. And Cascade would say, I have more of them in my own cabin. I have things to do, but perhaps another time we can. She kind of does see your eyes light up a little bit. And you kind of got this sort of easier truce going on now. So she says, perhaps when we get together to look at the maps and things, we can study them properly.
I would love that. And just as one more note that I did forget to mention earlier, I have good eyes in the dark. So if there are any night shifts that need filling.
Oh, yes, that would be definitely useful.
That would be called a dog watch.
Yes.
Words.
Thus blessed, are you all able to see well in the dark?
Almost all of us.
Nod. And then look at Kalyuka.
Oh god, I could just imagine.
She'll look around and she'll just look at you, Kalyuka, and just be like, well, that's okay. I'm not particularly well versed in seeing in the dark either.
Mm-hmm.
We bring other talents, don't we, Kalyuka?
Light.
Definitely.
They bring light.
I can smell fantastically well. Like the perfume you have right now, I think it is sea moss. It smells wonderful.
The Durkle sea moss.
Yes, Cedric does. Cedric does some interesting things, but they always taste fantastic.
Oh, and you should hear her play her bagpipes. It's just amazing. She is such a good performer.
Yes,
Indeed.
Bagpipes. An unusual choice of instrument. Don't get a lot of bagpipes around.
It's the most wonderful one.
An
Like,
excellent
you
morale
can-
boost.
Yes. It just builds until it explodes.
Do you know any sea shanties?
Well, I guess I do. Of course I do.
Excellent. Well, if you don't, we could always teach you some, of course. But
Oh, that would definitely be wonderful because maybe your sea shanties aren't the same as my sea shanties, and it would be wonderful to learn more.
There are so many seas of which to shanty upon.
Definitely. I heard there were 7. I don't know actually.
And as you're kind of all talking, you hear from above someone yelling out, and then Captain, Captain, and she goes, "Oh, something's happening up there," and she heads up the stairs.
Did the voice sound scared, urgent, or just kind of like a "Hey, Captain"?
Urgent.
I'm a follow.
Eva's gonna follow.
Definitely.
So you're all heading out?
Yeah, Callista will follow if everyone else is going.
Cool. So you head up to the deck, and when you get up there, you can see just one of the sort of the crew is just kind of looking out, and he is kind of saying that there seems to be something in the water over there. Eva, you would notice that the gulls that had been kind of circling the ship have now very much congregated over a spot relatively nearby, and the sun is beginning to set at this point. So it's really kind of getting into nighttime now, and they've congregated over this spot nearby, and there seems to be something that they're circling around and very interested in, bobbing in the water.
What is it?
How far away from us is it?
It's a little distance off. It's not too far away. But it's definitely visible, but it's a bit too far away to really see like properly what it is. You can see it just looks small. Like a small sort of like bit of wood or something, and there seems to be things on top of it. Yes, Jen?
I would like to send my newly seagulled familiar from this morning. It's a seagull now. I'd like to send my seagulled familiar over to take a look at it, and I'm going to transfer my senses over while that happens. So Sarah's eyes just cloud over, and like the bird goes off.
The bird goes off. Cool. Yeah. So this kind of like gull. Roll a perception check using the bird stats,
the gull,
please.
That's right. I'm so sorry. I cannot remember what bird stats are.
I guess use just like a crow or a raven, whatever it is. It's quite similar in terms of build and everything.
Yeah. Let me just grab that. Okay. Beautiful. All right. 15.
15. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right. Solid.
Your gull flies across. It gets there sort of in less than a minute or two, and it sort of flies around and has a good look. And there's quite a lot of other gulls around. That's the thing that you will notice. So there's definitely something on here that is drawing attention, and you can see there is. It seems to be just this piece of wood, quite large, probably the size of like a large dining room table, floating, and strung up on it are a couple of like sort of chests and boxes, but more importantly there seems to be a person, humanoid, on this thing. They are laying down. They seem like they are not conscious. They seem injured. And they definitely bear some resemblance to a Triton. But there is some areas of their physiology that is different. But it looks a bit like a Triton. That's the kind of the closest reference that you kind of have.
Okay.
And they look injured and unconscious.
Okay.
But they're kind of just laying on their back. They have sort of you with the you had a 15, didn't you? So you would notice there's like a little bit of bruising, kind of around their wrists, and kind of some sort of cut coming across their face. That looks relatively fresh.
Okay.
I'll that turn. Seems to be what the birds are interested in.
I'll turn and I'll shout, "Castaway!"
Castaway. And the captain, Cascade, will say, will kind of look at you and notices you're like, are you still looking through the bird's eyes?
Yeah.
She will say, are you...
I can't hear her.
Oh, you can't hear. No, you can hear, can't you? Oh, no, you can't.
With the bird, it's blind and deaf, yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
She'll say, because she doesn't know. So
I can feel when she touches me, but...
she'll say, what do you mean, castaway? What are you doing?
Eva's gonna look over at the captain and then like point to what Eva sees in the distance, having seen the bird go off. So Eva's gonna point towards the floating mess in the water to let the captain know where it is.
And I'll have the bird kind of like jump up and down on the piece of wood for her to see. and let out like a squawk for her.
I'm gonna just make a check. Yes. And I would like Astrea, I would like you to make a history check for me.
Oh, something I'm good at, yay.
Yeah.
Watch this go terribly. Oh my fucking god. 14. I rolled a 6, y'all.
I'm gonna just make a check for her. Okay. So this is something, you did a lot of research about, especially about some of the dangers that you might encounter in the sea, and some you read up about a race of people known as the Sahuagin, who are known for they like to lure in unsuspecting ships and things they basically capture like sort of treasures and people, and they put them on these like slabs of wood and have them floating in the hopes of having people coming in to investigate or to rescue people that are on the sea. So you can kind of infer that this person is not, looking at them physiologically, they're not a Sahuagin, okay? Right. This person is a prisoner of theirs, most likely, and alongside all of these sort of boxes and chests and things, it's a sort of it's something to make someone go, oh, what's that? Let me go in and investigate.
Okay, so they're bait.
So they're bait. They're baiting you. They're there to bait people out.
How far off the? How far away from the ship are they?
So you will kind of, as you have this realization, you will notice that Cascade, having been told that there's a castaway, has started to turn the ship towards this area.
I will kill the senses, come back to myself, and say, "Hold up! No, wait.
What?
It's a trap."
What kind of trap?
Bait. There are creatures waiting. There are creatures waiting for us to try and rescue this person.
So you're saying we shouldn't rescue them?
No. I'm saying give me 2 seconds to ask God if the person is less or more than 60 feet away from me.
To ask what what as in the person
The person, yes.
that is on there. More.
More. By how much?
A fair amount.
Okay. Question.
I would say they're probably a good few 100 feet away.
I'm so sorry for the questions that I'm about to ask here. Am I
No,
able
you're
to...
not.
Yeah. Rules is written. I suspect the answer is yes, but I'm going to ask you anyway because I'm cheating a little bit. Am I able to polymorph my familiar?
No.
Okay.
Because your familiar is a manifestation of a spirit of some kind. It is not actually a
creature.
Beast.
Okay.
Is this the same? This is the same day, right? Like we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same. This
No
is the
nap
same
yet.
day. It's kind of getting into nighttime now.
Does anybody have several hundred feet of rope?
I mean, we're on a
boat. Like it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Eva's gonna hold up the little bit tied around her waist.
That is
Callista,
awesome and an excellent start.
You have a pretty good perception, don't you?
I can figure out how to unmute myself. Yes, I do have a +8.
No, as in like your passive perception.
Oh, my passive perception. Yes, it's an 18.
18, that's pretty good. Anyone with a passive perception above 16 would see some slight ripples in the water, and they seem to be heading towards your ship.
I think we need to there, and Callista will point at the ripples. I think something's coming.
Yeah.
Eva is going to pull out her bow, and get that knocked and drawn and pointed to the ripples.
I will tell my familiar to get the hell out of there.
Are you heading up to the crow's nest, Eva, or are you just staying where you are for now?
You know what? Eva is going to, she's going to pull it back, draw it, awkwardly try and get like around the edge of the boat, and then she's going to look up at the crow's nest and make for it.
Those ripples are getting closer, but because thanks to Astrea's history check and the forewarning, the foreknowledge, you all have a little bit of time to do something, but you can tell that you are imminently under attack at this point.
Let's see. Can we tell how many there are, or is it just like a ripple?
There's a you kind of look, so Callista, this kind of like ripple draws your eye, and you look around and you realize as you kind of slowly spin in horror, there's a good 6 or 7 ripples coming from different directions that you can see, kind of around the boat.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Anybody within 10 feet of me gets a +2 bonus to saving throws, just FYI.
Hell yeah.
Is there... Okay.
So I will allow you all to do, so either you are knocking and you are heading up to the crow's nest.
Yep.
I will allow you all to do like one thing to kind of prepare, and then we're going to be rolling initiative.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to undraw probably because I'm gonna, I think, need like a full dash to get up high enough into the crow's nest.
I am not that fussy about like drawing,
Okay.
obviously in terms of like actually taking attack actions and everything like that. So I'm going to just say that your thing is that you just full on sprint and start to climb up. And you've kind of been a bit used to the sea out here is relatively still, which is why Callista was able to see the ripples, because it kind of stuck out because it's quite calm otherwise. So I will say that you can make you don't need to make a check to get up there. So take your full dash, and then you can probably get straight up to pretty much just be climbing into the crow's nest kind of thing as things begin.
I'm gonna use Cloak of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna appear to be wrapped in a starry cloak, and then I get extra 1d4 radiant with all attacks while this is active.
So all of so Onyx's skin has always been like this kind of like beautiful like shade of purple, and you just see like kind of like where like her veins and stuff would be begins to glow, almost like starlight, and she sort of seems to be kind of wrapped in this like slight shimmer around her.
Are the ripples coming from multiple sides of the ship or just one?
Multiple sides of the ship, yeah.
Can I identify if there is a larger concentration in one specific spot?
Yes. Let me.
I'm so sorry.
So. Joan, remind me, what's the front?
The bow.
The bow, that's it. Bow side, you can see that there is just a little bit more of a concentrated ripple there.
All right. My prep action is to inform. Are we still moving, or are we stopped or slowed?
We have slowed. At this point, Cascade was just kind of about to turn the ship towards where everything was, but we've slowed down for sure.
Okay. I turn to her. I'm just like, are we staying and fighting?
She kind of she says, looks like we have no choice, and she runs up towards the wheel.
Great. It's about to get stormy. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Storm Sphere right at kind of like where I'm gonna cast Storm Sphere kind of like off to the side of the side of the bow of the ship. So a 20-foot radius sphere of whirling air springs into existence centered on a point you choose within range. The range is 150 feet. I think I'm okay. And its concentration up to a minute. Anyone who starts who gets caught in it when it appears or ends its turn there has to do things. It's difficult terrain, and then there's bonus action shit. Can we see any of the creatures?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that is it.
And Callista, if you let her, is going to hold a spell until she can actually see the creatures, because she wants to cast Bane on them as soon as they are visible.
Great minds think
Lovely.
alike.
So you're holding the Bane. You're holding Bane. You're casting Storm Sphere. I'm gonna let me get a 20-foot.
I was literally just like, ooh, what happens if I cast this at 2nd level?
And Koyuka is kind of going to quickly leave Caillou downstairs and just be a good girl, pat on her head, even though she's just like, let me come with you sort of way, and runs upstairs. I'm going to go towards one of the sides in the front and kind of prepare a ballista so that I can release one as soon as if a creature pops out of the water, but just kind of static there. Because I'm just like, and I look back at Callista who's standing over there, and I was like, I've never done this before, but it's so exciting, no?
It really is, isn't it? I mean, our first sea battle.
What do you think is going to come
All
out?
right. At this point, so let me just move everyone to where they would be. So if you can move your character, so you're preparing the ballista that side, Kelly, I take it. Dion is probably going to head to this ballista here. This swirling storm sphere is probably going to be a little bit out more in the water, but I've just kind of put it there so that we know it's there. I'll theatre of the mind it a little bit. I know it's not like battering the side of the ship. Tilly is gonna, as soon as she senses trouble ahead, she's gonna kind of position herself here in the center, ready to take on wherever she feels like she needs to run to first. And Suri is gonna pop herself up here with the captain. What else? Hector's gonna look a little uncertain. He's gonna stand here, right by the stairs.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Cedric is not up here, so we will let's
I'm
hide
honestly
Cedric.
so surprised Hector's above deck at all. Truly impressive.
Yeah, he was kind of enjoying the, and as everyone's going around, he's kind of slowly backing away towards the stairs. But he hasn't like full on dashed off yet. He's a little bit like, what you can see is a little bit like, what are these people going to think of me if I just like run? But at the same time, there's a definite intent to not be too involved with the danger that's about to happen here. Cool. And with that, let me just see that this is so. Tell me what your storm sphere does again. Remind me.
So it is a it's a fuck. Whoops. Sorry, I accidentally closed my character sheet instead of going back into it. My storm sphere is a 20-foot radius sphere of thunder and lightning and storms. It's a concentration spell, 1 minute. Anyone who's there when it appears or when they end their turn there has to do a strength save against some bludgeoning damage. The space is difficult terrain. And I can use a bonus action to do a lightning strike from it. People within 30 feet of the sphere have disadvantage on perception checks to listen.
All right. Perfect. So you've got like held actions and things. I love that Caillou is just in this. I'm going to pop Caillou up here just for a second, so it's not on the battle map. You've got your kind of held actions and your prep stuff ready to go. And I'm going to ask everyone now to roll initiative, and I'm going to get everything filled out with that because we're about 10 minutes before the end of the session. So we're probably just going to end here, but I'll kind of like set the scene and we'll leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger, and then we'll resume and properly do combat next session, and it's going to be super fun. So let's get the note up so that I can get everybody's initiative. Let's go. Roll your initiatives for me, please, and let me know your numbers. I will start with Estrella. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I got excited. I rolled a 21.
Yeah, 21. Estrella?
16.
Not bad.
With my plus 11, I got 18.
Wow.
I rolled a 7.
I got
18.
18, did you say? Yeah. With your plus 11. Callista?
15.
You rolled quite. You rolled good. Callista?
With the +2, I got a 14.
I'm so surprised, Kat. I feel like Kumi should be offended.
I went, yeah, I rolled really good, and then I remembered there was one more person to go, and this was the moment where they were going to go 2. Yeah, great.
I rolled a 19.
Let's see how your fellow crewmates do. And we'll go. So let's start with Shuri.
I'm on a boat.
Oh, Shuri did not do too good.
I believe in her.
10. She rolled a 10. You know
I
what?
no longer believe in her.
Yeah. You know what? I thought this is the roguey one. She's gonna freaking pull it out the bag, but she rolled a 10.
Whoops.
10. Cascade rolled a 7.
Woo!
These people are not prepared.
This is a really
Come on,
cascading
Tilly,
turn of
Come on,
events.
Tilly. Don't let me down, Tilly. Tilly rolled a 19.
Woohoo!
cluster. Tilly and Onyx are going to be right up there at the beginning. So plus stuff, plus 21 in all. Same as Onyx.
Yay!
Onyx, what is your dex? Remind me.
My dex is +2.
+2. +2. What is Tilly's dex?
Probably less. Maybe.
Tilly's pretty badass, to be honest.
She is. I'm curious now.
I mean, my dex is only average for my strength is
You got a
where
+1 dex though. It's pretty much all strength based. So
Same.
yeah. She's gonna be after you, but you both kind of got the same
setting up for that combo move.
combo. Yeah, the
Set up
two
and
of you
finisher.
are just gonna be having at
Combo
it.
combo.
Let's go with everyone's favorite, Dion of the Burning Spears. Dion, pretty quick to the draw, rolled a 17
Just after me.
to 19 altogether.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My
Sorry.
+11 did nothing.
So we got a 10, a 7, a 20, and a 19 so far. So
Hey, at least you're in the crow's
let's go
nest.
with Hector. Let's see what Hector. Well, that tracks.
3. Is it a 3?
Hector rolled a 5.
I was close.
Hector, that's good. That means Hector will get a really good lay of the moment
Before
as
he runs away.
everyone
Before he
else
runs
does.
away.
Before he runs away.
And then we'll go, yeah, this ain't for me, and run.
Probably for the best. He'd probably just get in the way.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cedric is downstairs, and yeah, those are the things. So then let me just roll for crude at all. And I will end now, and I will roll for your enemies in the interim between now and next week, and get that all sorted in an
Oh my
order
god,
that
they
I can
all rolled
understand.
20s. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh my god, they all rolled ones.
But you all watch and you all kind of prepare yourselves. These ripples are getting closer and closer. They're kind of foaming a little bit. Astrea, you kind of make this little quick quip and then make some movements with your hands, reading from your book, and the sky goes a little darker. And these storm clouds begin to swirl in this very centered space. And every so often, like a bolt of lightning kind of hits the water in this area. Callista, you prepare yourself, your eyes darting around, waiting for the first moment that some enemies will show themselves so that you can unleash the bane, the wrath of Callista upon them.
No rocks here, but I'm sure you'll make do.
Rush downstairs, put Caillou in the... I imagine Caillou has a cot. I just really want Caillou to have a cot. So Caillou has a little cot. You lock the door because you know Cedric's down here somewhere, and then you head back up, and you are prepare yourself at the ballista. Onyx, you go for your weapon, as does Tilly, and the two of you give each other a sort of slight moment of acknowledgement as you're ready and prepared for battle. And Eva, you make your way up onto this crow's nest, and you, Eva, will be the first to see as all around the ship these creatures, part fish, part humanoid, embed their weapons into the side of the ship and begin climbing up and over. And you all, as they make themselves known, unleash your powers. And we will pick up next week where we will begin what is hopefully an exceptionally exciting combat. So we haven't had that for a little while. It's been a hot minute since I've done some combat, but I'm very excited to do so.
Next time on
Therosian Odyssey.
Oh, big water. Big water.
Big water.
I'm so obsessed with William
Big
Sweater.
water.
I love him so much.
that scene's definitely in the recap at the beginning of the episode. Big water. Big water.
Big water. Big water.
Big water. I would love to just like clip and then do like a last time on and then just like play some clips one after the other rather than me writing it.
That'd be amazing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we will first of all I'll go round, get everyone to talk about themselves a little bit, and then I will just quickly go over some of the exciting stuff that's coming up on Girls Run These Worlds this week. And then we will head out. So who should we start with? I'm gonna go random again. I'm gonna say let's start with Lulu.
Oh, hi, I'm Lulu. I've been playing Callista, the party's cleric. You'll have to excuse me, my dogs are freaking out in the background. But I am currently working on a scene that I'll hopefully have done later on today, that I'm really excited about. It's from our last campaign. So I'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully, if I don't fall asleep after getting up so early, I will have that. Jackson, hi, buddy. I know I love you. I love you, buddy. I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Mama, sleepy time.
Why would you ever apologize for this perfection?
He's a good boy, aren't you, buddy? I know. But anyway, that's me.
And Jackson, apparently.
And Jackson.
Yes, and Jackson.
Always happy to see both. Cool. Let's go Jen next.
Hello, hi, that's me. I'm Jen. I am Jen, your friendly local half-elven wizard Estrella. I can be found on Twitter over at, Jen Burb. Shocking, right? I am actually going to be hanging out in the beginning of February with our premiere of our Masks game, which I'm very excited about. It is a freaking amazing cast. I love the table so much. You'll also be able to find me in monthly one-shots of The Quiet Year. Here at Girls Run These Worlds, we'll be going ahead and doing kind of like an almost episodic rise and fall of these small little civilizations in the wake of insert vague cataclysm here, and we'll basically be building off of the not building off of, but kind of like building with the previous bits in mind. So if you have not applied for our Year of a Quiet Year, hop onto our Twitter, find it. We would love to have you sitting at the table with us to do some map making and world building.
Amazing. Next up, Joan.
Hi.
Jones is always my favorite. Hi.
Just when you said it was like to talk about ourselves, so I was like, "Hi, I'm a Cancer. I like walks on the beach.
Yeah.
I
I
like
don't
to have
know
a
what
cider
you've
now and
been
then."
doing, but that's what I've been expecting every time I start this segment, and it's just
Mhm.
you'll start talking about your Twitters, and it's cool. But I was just hoping I don't want to know your star. I want to know your star sign.
Mhm. I'm also a rabbit, and this is a rabbit year, which I think means either something really bad or something really good is going to happen to me, according to the Chinese zodiac.
I'm a
Hey,
rat.
rats are actually cool as fuck.
They
They're
are,
super
but like
smart.
it's still really funny.
But
My sister's a rat.
Like a rat or
I'm a
or rat
rooster.
sign.
That's just a rat.
No, the year of the rat.
Okay.
No.
We're so far
No,
off
I'm
track.
kidding.
Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
Bev, if you're watching, I love you very much.
You can find me on social media as the Rogue Setup.
Nice. Let's go with Lindsay next.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lindsay. You're, as I always say, my Kenku Ranger. If we want to get into our signs, I am also Year of the Rabbit. I'm an Aries and a double Earth moon rising. I forget what that one's called, but I'm a Virgo and a Taurus, so I'm fiery and excitable, but also grounded and down to earth. So that's what you get when you tune into me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else is on my mind right now. I'm bubbly, energetic. I have 2 coffees in me, so I'm ready for the rest of the day to just end.
Cool. Year of the Rabbit, Year of the Caillou, everyone. Year of the Caillou.
I know.
We're here for it. Okay. That leaves who have I not said? Lulu.
No,
Is that Lulu left?
Kumi.
No. Yeah, Kumi. I'm so sorry. I'm normally so much better at this. As soon as I said Lulu, I was like, that.
We are all just wiped today. There's no judgment here.
Kumi. Last but not least, definitely memorable. Let's go.
So, astrology wise, I'd say I'm a Capricorn and I'm born in the year of the pig. Of the board? The board, yeah. So
Also very smart animals.
I'm happy to know because I wasn't very excited when I found out the first time, but I was just like, oh, but I love fruits baskets. So anyway, coming back, I play Kaluka in this campaign. I'm also part of 2 other campaigns on the Pigeon Killers. One is a homebrew campaign called the Shadow Watch, and another one is us play testing this new indie system called Bludgeon. If you hadn't heard of Bludgeon, please do check it out. It's amazing. A lot of it is Indian flavored. I'm going to be playing a crocodile teacher who wears an amazing sari. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're starting on this week. I can be found at Kumi Curiosities on Instagram and Twitter, and that's from me.
Lovely. So that is everyone. I didn't forget anyone.
You forgot yourself. There you go.
I'm Kat. I'm also known as Law Mistress 93 or the Law Mistress on Twitch. I'm a Taurus. Year of the Rooster. I don't think roosters are particularly smart animals, but I don't know. Yeah, Joan's like, don't know how to tell you, but so hopefully I'm a little bit smarter than a rooster. But at points when I rewatch some of these videos, I'm like, I don't think I am.
I won't say they aren't smart, but I will say they've been known to drown by staring at the rain.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Roosters have really, they have a lot of good things about them. They're pretty, they're colorful, they're
they're loud.
They like to make their voices heard.
I just realized it's so apt that you're the rooster, because for everyone else on the stream, they're waking up for you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you wake us up.
That's so true.
Oh, amazing.
That's so true. It's an accurate depiction.
Bring back the red hair.
And I've got the red hair, and I just voice, or I messaged them on the Discord chat like, hello, good morning, it's Theros Day, wake up. That's literally that. So that's very accurate. Yes. What else was I saying? Rooster brain. I write and edit and do other things. Apparently I stream a lot. I'm streaming here on Girls Run These Worlds this campaign. I'm also, I just saw that, Joan. And I'm also going to be streaming soon over the course of February on VA Redemption's channel. I'm going to be in a Call of Cthulhu campaign, which I'm really, really excited about because I've never played that game before. And just like Cyberpunk, I'm just going to be like, darted straight in, and we'll just see how it goes. And probably my character will not make it out alive because she's not a survivalist, but we'll see. Maybe she'll surprise us all and she actually does have final go energy. What else? I feel like it does represent like 16-hour spread worth of time zones, and this time slot is a delicate balance. It's a delicate balance. Just if it was any earlier, it would be terrible for some of you, and if it was any later, it would be awful for Kumi. We just have to find that really delicate balance, that few hours where we all kind of are okay to be up. Yeah, I think that's it from me. I'm going to tell you about, so Sunday night, so tonight, just had a moment there. I was like, yeah, Sunday, when's that? It's tonight. Contour and Charisma, exciting. Speaking of cyberpunk, segue from 2 minutes ago. They are playing Cyberpunk Red. It's going to be really, really fun. Monday night, we have Wish We Weren't Here, with the incredible Arnica is DMing. It's like nightmare fairy tales from the childhood, trying to cause the apocalypse. It's like madness. And there is some, some pirate and ship action going on there as well. So we have that in common. Wednesday, Lancer, GM'd by the amazing JC Darcy, who I absolutely adore to pieces, and it's good to see them in this chat popping in every so often. So love you, Darcy, very much. If you want to be introduced to Lancer, Darcy, their brand is Lancer. And then Friday, the premiere of Alien, which is going to be so exciting, and I cannot wait. I mean, I didn't really grow up with Alien, but I know I love I just love the whole thing about it, and it's a bit of sci-fi, a bit of horror. So even if you do not know Alien, this is the way to get introduced to it, because my goodness, it's some terrifying stuff. So we've got some really great stuff coming up. We are going to be raiding into High Rollers. And we ask you all, if you could, please stick around and support another channel. We're always loving to support other channels in their endeavors. So if that is everything that everyone want to say, we will see you next week for an amazing combat where hopefully everyone will make it out alive. No one who can't swim will try to swim. And we will see you next week for more Mythic Odysseys. Bye.